Top 20 celebrities that ruined their careers with one interview.
I'm going to be really honest right now. I'm not. I know I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't have to think about it. I'm not a rude person. I'm not an unkind or mean person.
One interview. That's all it took for these stars to crash and burn in the public eye. From shocking confessions to devastating slip-ups, these celebrities managed to destroy years of hard work and fame with a single ill-fated moment on camera. What happened behind the scenes that led to these career-killing disasters? Get ready to witness the jaw-dropping moments when everything fell apart. Because in Hollywood, one wrong interview can change everything. This is Top 20 Celebrities that Ruined Their Careers with One Interview. Kanye West. Kanye West's career has been punctuated by controversial statements, two of which profoundly altered his public image. First, during a 2005 Hurricane Katrina telethon, alongside an uncomfortable Mike Myers, he deviated from the prepared script, declaring, "George Bush doesn't care about black people." This unscripted comment instantly went viral, sparking widespread debate. While some lauded his outspokenness on the government's insufficient response, others criticized its inappropriateness, impacting his popularity. Later, a 2018 TMZ interview saw West make an even more inflammatory assertion. "When you hear about slavery for 400 years? For 400 years, that sounds like a choice." This ignited immediate and intense backlash. Historians, fellow celebrities, and critics condemned the remark as profoundly insensitive and harmful. Many former supporters distanced themselves, increasing concern and speculation about his mental state and unpredictable behavior. These two incidents, a decade apart, highlight Kanye West's complex persona. The Hurricane Katrina comment established him as a fearless critic of systemic inequality, but the TMZ statement marked a downturn, linking him to offensive and revisionist racial views. Consequently, his public image shifted dramatically, from a cultural icon challenging societal norms to a divisive figure whose motives and credibility are continuously questioned. Despite continued musical triumphs, these controversies indelibly shaped West's legacy, serving as a cautionary example of how impulsive statements, born of either righteous anger or misguided provocation, can have lasting repercussions. Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson's career suffered a catastrophic collapse in July 2006, following a DUI arrest in Malibu that exposed a troubling side to the acclaimed actor and director. During the arrest, Gibson unleashed an anti-Semitic rant, including the shocking statement, "The Jews are responsible for all the wars in the world," followed by the contemptuous question, "Are you a Jew?" This outburst, quickly publicized, ignited intense public anger and severely damaged his Hollywood reputation. The response was immediate and severe. The Anti-Defamation League and other critics strongly condemned Gibson's actions, resulting in the entertainment industry swiftly distancing itself. Disney, poised to distribute Apocalypto, faced immense pressure to sever ties. Former collaborators and friends publicly denounced him or severed connections, demonstrating the extent of his downfall. Despite multiple apologies, attributing his behavior to alcoholism and a commitment to rehabilitation, Gibson's reputation was irrevocably harmed. He was sidelined from major directing and acting roles for years. The once celebrated director of Braveheart and The Passion of the Christ became synonymous with prejudice and hatred. Although Gibson later directed the acclaimed Hacksaw Ridge 2016, marking a tentative career resurgence, the 2006 incident continues to cast a long shadow. His story serves as a stark warning about the enduring damage caused by hateful speech, illustrating how even exceptional careers can be irrevocably scarred, making redemption an arduous task. Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin's volatile nature resulted in a damaging incident in November 2013. A confrontation with a photographer outside his Manhattan residence was captured on video, allegedly revealing Baldwin shouting a homophobic slur. The footage spread rapidly, generating intense public criticism and condemnation of his offensive language. Baldwin initially attempted to justify his actions, claiming misinterpretation, but this only amplified the negative reaction. He subsequently issued a more apologetic statement, acknowledging the seriousness of his words and offering an apology. However, this did little to mitigate the damage. Advocacy groups and commentators highlighted the unacceptability of such language, particularly from a public figure. The incident had immediate professional ramifications. MSNBC promptly canceled his short-lived talk show, Up Late with Alec Baldwin, citing the controversy. This reinforced Baldwin's image as unpredictable and temperamental, overshadowing his acting successes. While Baldwin continued his Hollywood career, including his notable role on Saturday Night Live, the 2013 altercation serves as a cautionary tale. It illustrates how a single outburst, especially one containing hateful speech, can inflict lasting damage on even a successful career. Don't go yet. Let me know what you thought in the comments. It'll help us make the next video even better. Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen's November 2015 appearance on The Today Show sent shockwaves globally when he revealed his HIV-positive status. In a surprisingly calm interview with Matt Lauer, Sheen aimed to quell years of rumors and tabloid speculation. While many commended his openness and courage, the announcement also sparked significant controversy and concern. Critics focused on Sheen's admission that he'd known about his diagnosis for 4 years before disclosing it, leading to intense debate regarding his responsibility to past sexual partners.
They walked in the room and said, boom, here's what's going on. It's a hard 3 letters to absorb.
Some women alleged he hadn't informed them, raising crucial questions about consent and transparency. Despite Sheen's claims of disclosure and adherence to medical advice, the controversy further complicated his already troubled public image. Public opinion was sharply divided. Some expressed empathy, witnessing a more vulnerable side of the notoriously erratic actor. Others remained skeptical, unwilling to ignore his history of reckless behavior, including substance abuse and violence. The interview humanized him for some but solidified negative perceptions for others. This revelation proved pivotal. Sheen's health status became a defining characteristic of his public persona, eclipsing his acting career. Although he continued working occasionally, the interview intensified his struggle to escape a cycle of scandal and controversy, making a complete professional resurgence unlikely. Roseanne Barr. Roseanne Barr's lengthy and turbulent career experienced a dramatic downfall in May 2018, stemming from a single incendiary tweet. Barr, whose Roseanne reboot had achieved significant success on ABC, posted a tweet comparing Valerie Jarrett, a former Obama advisor, to a combination of the Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes. This comment was widely denounced as racist and offensive, provoking immediate and severe consequences. ABC swiftly canceled the popular reboot, with network president Channing Dungey labeling the tweet abhorrent, repugnant, and inconsistent with our values. The backlash was overwhelming. Barr faced condemnation from former castmates, celebrities, and viewers who had previously celebrated her as a groundbreaking voice representing the working class on television. Barr attempted damage control in subsequent interviews, claiming misunderstanding and blaming the tweet on Ambien, a medication she was using. In one particularly strange video, she exclaimed, "I thought the beat was white." These attempts to justify her comment failed to appease the public, and the pharmaceutical company producing Ambien released a statement clarifying that racism is not a listed side effect. This scandal brought a sharp end to Barr's Hollywood resurgence. Although The Conners, a spin-off without Barr, proved successful, her career never fully recovered. The incident starkly illustrates the destructive power of social media, where a single offensive post can eradicate years of hard work and positive public perception. Megan Fox. Megan Fox's career trajectory dramatically shifted following a controversial 2009 interview. At the peak of her fame, while discussing her experiences on the Transformers set with director Michael Bay for Wonderland magazine, Fox drew a comparison between working with Bay and working with Hitler, critiquing his demanding directing style. This hyperbolic comment backfired severely. Fox's remarks were widely condemned as unprofessional and disrespectful, particularly given the success of the Transformers franchise, which had launched her to international stardom. The backlash wasn't confined to the public and media. Hollywood insiders, including producers Steven Spielberg and Michael Bay, reportedly took offense. Shortly afterward, Fox was dismissed from Transformers: Dark of the Moon, with Bay later claiming Spielberg made the decision, a claim that's been contested. This incident significantly impacted her career. Once a highly sought-after actress, Fox experienced a decline in major role offers. Although she later reconciled with Bay, appearing in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the trajectory of her career never fully recovered its initial momentum. Her outspoken nature, potentially a strength, became a liability that Hollywood seemed hesitant to fully embrace. Despite subsequent projects and efforts to repair her public image, Fox's Hitler remark remains a prime example of how a single interview can drastically alter a promising career path. Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew's November 2019 interview on BBC's Newsnight with Emily Maitlis, intended to address his controversial relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, instead resulted in a public relations catastrophe that effectively ended his career as a working royal. His attempt to quell public outrage regarding his friendship with a convicted sex offender only exacerbated the crisis. When questioned about Virginia Giuffre's allegations of sexual assault,
today, you've chosen to speak out for the first time. Why have you decided to talk now?
Prince Andrew denied ever meeting her, dismissing photographic evidence. He stated, "I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady."
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady. None whatsoever.
He further claimed a medical condition prevented him from sweating, directly contradicting Giuffre's account. Most strikingly, he showed no remorse for his association with Epstein, describing it as providing useful opportunities, and defended his friendship due to the things he learned from it. The public and critical response was swift and overwhelmingly negative. Andrew's perceived lack of empathy for Epstein's victims and his evasive, unconvincing manner sparked widespread outrage on social media and dominated global news. Within days, he announced his withdrawal from royal duties, a step he described as being for the foreseeable future. Subsequent legal actions and investigations continued to damage his reputation, making any significant rehabilitation virtually impossible. The Newsnight interview serves as a cautionary example of a disastrous damage control attempt. The interview significantly increased scrutiny, irreversibly damaging Prince Andrew's reputation and legacy. Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson's February 2019 interview promoting Cold Pursuit delivered a shocking revelation. While discussing revenge, Neeson recounted a deeply disturbing experience. Following a close friend's rape, he spent days seeking out a black person to kill. He admitted, "I did it maybe 4 or 5 times, hoping a black bastard would confront him, allowing him to take revenge." Though he expressed horror and shame at his racist impulse, the damage was instantaneous. Social media and the press erupted in outrage. Critics and activists condemned Neeson's blatant racism and questioned his judgment in sharing such a story.
To get rid of this, and I'm not racist. This was nearly 40 years ago, but because I was brought up in, maybe I'm rabbiting on, Rob, so forgive me. I was brought up in the north of Ireland and brought up in the Trouble.
While some acknowledged his honesty, the dominant reaction was disbelief and anger. Many commentators highlighted the potential for his racially charged anecdote, lacking a strong anti-racist message, to reinforce harmful attitudes. Neeson attempted damage control, appearing on television, to clarify his remarks and deny being a racist. Celebrities like Whoopi Goldberg offered support, emphasizing his honesty. However, the controversy persisted, significantly tarnishing his previously unblemished image. While his career wasn't destroyed, the incident impacted his reputation and ignited widespread discussions on race, accountability, and the ramifications of public confessions. Neeson's candid yet troubling confession remains a lasting mark on his public image. Paula Abdul. Paula Abdul's career trajectory took a sharp downturn in January 2007, following a bizarre television appearance in Seattle. During a live interview promoting American Idol's 6th season, Abdul appeared disoriented, slurring her speech and exhibiting unsteady movements. Her inability to articulate coherent sentences led to widespread speculation among viewers regarding her condition, sparking intense online debate and making this moment one of the most infamous in her career.
Well, is that what it is? I was wondering, what is that?
Despite Abdul's claims of exhaustion and technical issues as the cause of her erratic behavior, denying intoxication, the public remained unconvinced. The incident led to relentless speculation about her well-being and personal life, overshadowing her professional achievements. Media outlets seized upon her disheveled image, fueling rumors and harming her reputation. 2 years later, Abdul departed from American Idol, citing contract disagreements. However, many believe the viral interview and resulting negative publicity contributed to her reduced role. Her departure significantly diminished her public profile, and despite subsequent comeback attempts, she never fully regained her prior prominence in the entertainment industry. Abdul's 2007 interview stands as a stark example of how a single live performance, particularly in the age of viral media, can profoundly and irrevocably shape public perception, transforming a momentary lapse into a defining and damaging career event. 20 celebrities that ruined their careers with one interview. Katherine Heigl. For Katherine Heigl, a 2008 Vanity Fair interview became a career-altering event. Once a beloved Grey's Anatomy actress and Hollywood darling, her candid remarks transformed her public image from A-lister to industry outcast. Heigl openly criticized Knocked Up, the Judd Apatow comedy that had significantly boosted her film career.
I'm going to be really honest right now. I'm not. I know I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't have to think about it. I'm not a rude person. I'm not an unkind or mean person.
It was a little sexist, she stated, arguing that the movie depicted women as humorless and uptight, while portraying men as lovable, goofy, fun-loving guys. Although some might consider her observations insightful, they were largely perceived as hypocritical, given her choice to star in the film and profit from its success. The negative reaction was swift and brutal. Heigl's critique was seen by industry insiders as ungrateful and difficult, reinforcing pre-existing rumors about her demanding on-set demeanor. This, along with her highly publicized decision to withdraw from Emmy consideration for Grey's Anatomy in 2008, due to perceived weak writing, further strained relationships with collaborators like Apatow and co-star Seth Rogen. The long-term impact on Heigl's career was significant. She encountered difficulties securing roles of comparable stature. Ironically, her subsequent film projects, such as The Ugly Truth, seemed to reinforce the very gender stereotypes she had criticized. With a reputation as a difficult actress, high-profile opportunities dwindled. While Heigl later attempted a comeback, the stigma from the interview persisted. The Vanity Fair interview serves as a cautionary tale. A few ill-considered remarks, however candid, can irrevocably change a star's career path, particularly in the competitive and unforgiving world of Hollywood. Dixie Chicks. Days before the 2003 U.S. invasion of Iraq, the Dixie Chicks, now The Chicks, were at the peak of country music stardom. However, a brief remark during a London concert at the Shepherd's Bush Empire drastically altered their American success. Lead singer Natalie Maines expressed disapproval of President George W. Bush, stating, "Just so you know, we're ashamed the President of the United States is from Texas." The U.S. backlash was immediate and unparalleled. Conservative media and country radio swiftly condemned the group, initiating music bans and organized boycotts. Former fans publicly destroyed their CDs, and the trio received death threats. This intense reaction, amplified by post-9/11 patriotism, ostracized them from the country music community and exposed a deeply divided political climate. The group's reputation, particularly within their genre's conservative core audience, suffered greatly. While they defended their right to free speech, the damage was irreversible. Blacklisted by major country stations, their album sales and concert attendance plummeted. Despite these career-threatening repercussions, the Dixie Chicks remained defiant. Their subsequent album, Taking the Long Way, featured the pointed hit Not Ready to Make Nice, which garnered several Grammy Awards. However, their American country music career never fully rebounded, leading to a shift toward a more mainstream pop sound. The 2003 incident remains a striking example of how a single politically charged statement can instantly redefine a career and legacy. John Mayer. A February 2010 Playboy interview became a defining moment of John Mayer's career, shocking fans and critics with a series of controversial and cringeworthy statements on race, sex, and relationships. The interview would haunt him for years. His most infamous comment crudely described his sexual preferences. "My doc is sort of like a white supremacist. I've got a Benetton heart and a David Duke cock." He also casually employed the N-word, asserting he deserved a hood pass due to his friendships within the black community. The resulting backlash was immediate and fierce. Critics and social media users alike condemned Mayer's words as racist and sexist, expressing outrage not only at his crass language, but also at his objectification of women and dismissive attitude towards sensitive racial issues. These remarks alienated fans and severely damaged his carefully cultivated image as a thoughtful and introspective musician. Mayer later offered public apologies, acknowledging his behavior as that of a jerk and expressing regret for his language. "It was arrogant of me to think I could intellectualize using that word," he stated during an emotional onstage apology. However, despite his remorse, the damage was already done. The Playboy interview significantly tarnished his reputation, making him the subject of widespread criticism. Though Mayer eventually returned to the public eye, adopting a more subdued and less provocative persona, the incident marked a turning point in his career. It underscored the profound impact of reckless words and unchecked privilege, transforming a beloved artist into a controversial figure overnight and permanently complicating his legacy. The Chainsmokers. The Chainsmokers, the electronic music duo of Andrew Taggart and Alex Paul, generated negative headlines in September 2016, following a controversial Billboard interview. While riding the wave of hits like Closer and Don't Let Me Down, their open embrace of a party-loving frat boy image crossed a line, shocking fans and industry observers.
Everyone was making the same thing, and after a few years, it got really stale, and only a few people started breaking off from that and experimenting.
Most damaging were their boasts about promiscuity, including casual admissions of infidelity. Powell's statement, "Even before success, I was number one," seemed more appropriate for a college dorm than a widely read interview. This embrace of a hyper-masculine stereotype appeared not only immature but also deeply insensitive. At a time of increasing accountability for public figures, the Chainsmokers' remarks seemed tone-deaf and disrespectful. The backlash was swift. Social media erupted with criticism, accusing the duo of shallowness and objectifying women. Some fans expressed disappointment, feeling their favorite artists prioritized bragging about sexual conquests over celebrating musical achievements. Despite later attempts to downplay the controversy by claiming misinterpretation or lack of context, the damage to their image persisted. While the Chainsmokers continued releasing popular music, the Billboard interview remains a blemish on their reputation, illustrating how unchecked bravado and a lack of self-awareness can negatively impact even the most successful careers. Come along on this adventure with me. Comment 1 if you'll watch until the end. You won't be disappointed. This video has some amazing surprises in store. 5 Seconds of Summer. An ill-fated Rolling Stone interview in December 2015 drastically altered the public perception of Australian pop rock band 5 Seconds of Summer, 5SOS. The article, rife with provocative quotes and self-aggrandizing pronouncements, shocked even their most dedicated fans. "We're the biggest band in the world," boasted lead guitarist Michael Clifford, inviting unfavorable comparisons to the Beatles. Beyond the hyperbole, however, it was the band's dismissive attitude toward their fan base that truly sparked outrage. Further darkening the interview were criticisms of the American Music Awards and artists like Justin Bieber, remarks that seemed to lack both humility and tact. Adding fuel to the fire was the band's decision to pose nude for the magazine cover, a move interpreted by many as an immature publicity grab rather than a celebration of their rock star status. The ensuing backlash was swift and brutal. Fans and critics alike flooded social media, accusing 5SOS of arrogance and disrespect for the very supporters who propelled their rise. Various publications condemned their comments as ill-timed and damaging. The band's bad boy image, once appealing, now registered as unearned ego. In the years that followed, 5SOS struggled to regain their lost momentum. Though they eventually made efforts to mend relationships with fans and mature their musical style, the Rolling Stone interview remains a painful reminder of how quickly public opinion can turn when youthful confidence is perceived as arrogance. R. Kelly. R. Kelly's 2008 interview with BET journalist Toure proved to be a turning point in his career, marking a significant downturn in his public image. His response to questions about his interest in underage girls heightened concerns rather than alleviating them.
This is what they're saying about you. These aren't old rumors.
Not true. Whether they're old rumors, new rumors,
why would they
future
say this
rumors,
about you?
Not true.
When asked directly, "Do you like teenage girls?" Kelly's reply, "When you say teenage, how old are we talking?" was both evasive and unsettling. This failure to offer an immediate and unequivocal denial only reinforced existing public suspicions about the sexual misconduct allegations that had long dogged him. This interview became a pivotal moment in media portrayals of the R&B superstar. Instead of dispelling doubts, Kelly's ambiguous language and uncomfortable demeanor were widely perceived as incriminating. Critics and viewers were stunned by his apparent inability or unwillingness to readily condemn predatory behavior. The resulting backlash further eroded Kelly's public image, as his denials were increasingly met with skepticism. Though his music career continued for a period, the interview amplified existing doubts about his character, foreshadowing the future legal battles he would face. Years later, the release of the surviving R. Kelly documentary series brought renewed scrutiny and public outcry, but the seeds of suspicion had already been sown. The interview's impact was undeniable and long-lasting, contributing to the legal actions that ultimately led to his conviction. Kelly's failure to address the accusations convincingly revealed a deep disconnect from the gravity of the situation, solidifying his legacy as a disgraced and profoundly controversial figure. Billy Bush. Billy Bush's career imploded spectacularly in October 2016, following the release of a 2005 hot mic recording. The Access Hollywood tape captured Bush, then co-host of The Today Show, laughing and engaging with Donald Trump as the future president boasted about groping and kissing women without consent.
I moved on her, actually. You know, she was down in Palm Beach. I moved on her, and I failed. I'll admit it.
Whoa.
I did try and her. She was married.
That's huge news there.
Trump's statement, "When you're a star, they let you do it," was met with Bush's enthusiastic agreement and encouraging remarks. The public reaction was immediate and condemning. Critics lambasted Bush for his complicity. The tape resonated deeply within a culture grappling with issues of sexual harassment, particularly in Hollywood. Bush's perceived encouragement of Trump's lewd comments was seen as a severe lapse in judgment, especially for someone associated with a prominent morning news program. NBC quickly suspended Bush, leading to his resignation from The Today Show within days. Despite subsequent attempts at public apology, including a Good Morning America interview where he admitted, "I was ashamed and embarrassed," the damage was irreversible. His reputation suffered immensely and opportunities in mainstream broadcasting diminished significantly. While Bush later returned to television, his career never fully recovered. The incident serves as a stark warning of how a single conversation, combined with a failure to challenge inappropriate behavior, can derail even the most promising career trajectory. Gary Neville. Following Valencia's crushing 7-0 defeat to Barcelona in February 2016, Gary Neville faced the cameras for a post-match interview that proved disastrous for his managerial career. Intended to address and explain his team's performance, the interview instead highlighted his struggles and arguably hastened his departure. Neville's defensive and dismissive demeanor only intensified existing criticism. He admitted, "I won't sleep well tonight," but instead of outlining a strategy for improvement, he deflected responsibility, attributing the loss to Barcelona's exceptional skill. "Barcelona can do that to teams," he stated, failing to acknowledge tactical shortcomings or inspire confidence. Critics swiftly seized upon his unwillingness to take ownership. Already frustrated with Neville's lack of experience and his inability to turn the struggling team around, Spanish media and fans viewed the interview as further evidence of his inadequacy. His casual tone and minimizing of the significant defeat led many to question his tactical capabilities at the elite level. Within weeks, Neville was dismissed after just 4 months in charge, leaving behind mixed results and several demoralizing losses. The Barcelona match and the subsequent interview remain a cautionary example of the risks of inexperience in high-pressure positions, particularly when coupled with an inability to convincingly address public criticism of failure. Gilbert Gottfried. Gilbert Gottfried's penchant for dark humor resulted in a career-altering controversy in March 2011, just days after the devastating Japan tsunami. Gottfried posted several insensitive jokes on Twitter about the disaster, which had claimed thousands of lives and impacted millions. One particularly offensive tweet stated, "Japan is really advanced. They don't go to the beach comes to them." The public outcry was immediate and intense. Fans and critics condemned his remarks as cruel and profoundly insensitive in light of the widespread suffering. Aflac, the insurance company for which Gottfried had voiced the iconic Aflac duck for over a decade, swiftly terminated their relationship with him. Aflac declared, "Gilbert's recent comments about the crisis in Japan were lacking in humor and certainly do not represent the thoughts and feelings of anyone at Aflac." Although Gottfried later apologized, stating, "I meant no disrespect and my thoughts are with the victims," the damage was irreparable. Losing the Aflac endorsement had significant financial implications, but it also marked a sharp downturn in career opportunities. This incident serves as a stark reminder of the potentially devastating professional consequences of insensitive jokes, especially within the context of social media. Even for a comedian known for edgy humor, the tsunami tweets were a bridge too far, leaving an indelible mark on his career trajectory. And there you have it. 20 careers destroyed in the blink of an eye. These interviews were more than just slip-ups. They were irreversible turning points that exposed the dark side of fame. Do you think any of these stars could ever make a comeback? Or are they doomed to be remembered for their disastrous words? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more shocking tales from the unpredictable world of celebrity. 25 stars that became homeless or went completely broke. Prepare to be shocked. One moment they were walking red carpets, the next they were sleeping on the streets. Another built a multi-million-dollar empire, only to lose it all and declare bankruptcy. These are the unbelievable true stories of 25 stars who went from fame and fortune to ruin, and their downfalls will leave you stunned. Corey Haim. Corey Haim shot to fame in the 1980s, capturing hearts with roles in beloved movies like Lucas, License to Drive, and The Lost Boys. He became an instant teen idol, receiving thousands of fan letters weekly and basking in the glow of Hollywood's attention. But beneath the surface lurked a darker reality. While his professional life was soaring, his personal life began spiraling downwards. "I lived in LA in the 80s, which was not the best place to be," Haim once reflected, revealing his early struggles with substance abuse, starting with alcohol and escalating to cocaine and crack cocaine. It was an open secret in Hollywood at that time. Haim frequently attended parties with other teen stars, some who later admitted they were already heavily involved with drugs and alcohol at the tender age of 12 years old. By the late 1990s, Haim's addiction had taken a heavy toll. His once promising career dwindled, leading to severe financial problems, forcing him to live in a garage apartment with his mother. Even after many attempts at rehabilitation, at least 15 trips to rehab, he couldn't break free from his demons. A heartbreaking scene in a documentary showed him disoriented and having to sell personal items to make ends meet. He would sometimes use different aliases when he checked into motels, once even using Corey Feldman's name. In 2010, Haim tragically succumbed to pneumonia, unable to even afford his own funeral. His death served as a harsh reminder of fame's fleeting nature and the destructive power of drug addiction. Corey Feldman mourned the loss of his close friend, saying, "This is a tragic loss of a wonderful, beautiful, tormented soul." A sentiment that perfectly captured Haim's turbulent life in Hollywood. Amanda Peterson. Amanda Peterson, the effervescent teen idol who captured hearts in the beloved 1987 romantic comedy Can't Buy Me Love, met a tragic end after leaving the Hollywood scene in 1994. Returning to her roots in Greeley, Colorado, her life took a devastating downturn, marked by personal turmoil and legal woes. In a twist of fate, just a few years before her breakout role, Amanda had a small part in the iconic TV show Silver Spoons, alongside another young actor, Ricky Schroeder, who also experienced the complexities of childhood stardom and later carved a different path for himself away from the spotlight. Peterson battled substance abuse, leading to multiple arrests for driving under the influence and drug possession. The stark contrast between the bright-eyed starlet of the past and the troubled woman she became was heartbreaking. Her mother, Sylvia, recalled the shock of her death. She was in bed, and she'd had a wonderful day. It was just a very, very big surprise when Amanda was found dead in her apartment in 2015 from a morphine overdose at the age of 43. Her once radiant smile, which had charmed audiences, faded under the weight of addiction and poor choices, making her almost unrecognizable in the mugshots that documented her encounters with the law. Those close to her witnessed the deep scars left by the pressures of early fame. Her Can't Buy Me Love co-star, Patrick Dempsey, expressed his grief on social media, remembering her as forever vibrant and young in his mind. Danny Bonaduce. Danny Bonaduce, a household name from his days as a child actor on The Partridge Family, plummeted into a harrowing period of homelessness and financial ruin after the show ended. The crushing weight of early fame took a heavy toll. By the 1990s, his life spiraled out of control with a series of arrests for drug possession, assault, and even an alleged robbery where he supposedly beat up a transvestite prostitute and stole her money. These legal battles cost him not only his freedom but also a thriving radio career, plunging him into destitution. But before his radio career started, Bonaduce also tried his hand as a stand-up comedian, often opening for his friend and Partridge Family co-star David Cassidy. This path didn't prevent his downfall, though. He once recounted the grim reality of his early 1980s existence, sharing, "I was so broke that I lived out of my car near a dumpster. I would pose for pictures with fans during the day and sleep in my car at night." Imagine the stark contrast. A recognizable face, smiling for photos near iconic Hollywood spots by day, then retreating to the shadows, sleeping in his car by night, his desperate situation masked by the lingering glow of celebrity. This grim existence, living behind dumpsters in his vehicle, continued until Bonaduce finally sought help and embarked on the arduous journey of rebuilding his life. His story transformed from one of substance abuse and homelessness to one of powerful resilience. He conquered his demons and now co-hosts a successful morning radio show in Seattle. Lonnie O'Grady. Lonnie O'Grady, best known as Mary Bradford on the hit show 8 is Enough, endured a tragic journey that ended in homelessness and despair. Despite early success, the pressures of fame profoundly affected her mental health. From a young age, she suffered from panic attacks, seeking refuge in prescription medications, a path that led to a lifelong and destructive addiction. It's a little-known fact that Lonnie's older sister, Gail O'Grady, also became a successful television actress, most known for her role on NYPD Blue, further highlighting the divergent paths within the family. After stepping away from acting in the 1980s, O'Grady tried to carve out a new career as a talent manager, but her personal demons persisted. In a desperate attempt to get clean, she checked into a mental health facility for detox in 1998. Shockingly, during her stay, she reported being sexually assaulted by a staff member, a traumatic event that led her to sue the hospital. This legal battle only compounded her stress and financial burdens. As O'Grady's struggles deepened, she became isolated, living in a mobile home, estranged from society. Her friends and family watched helplessly as addiction consumed her. At 46, Lonnie was found dead from a suspected drug overdose, a stark reminder of the hidden battles faced by child stars. "I feel like I have to keep up this idea of who I am," she once said, capturing the immense pressure that ultimately proved too much to bear. Randy Quaid. Randy Quaid, a seasoned actor celebrated for his appearances in over 90 films, and perhaps most beloved for his portrayal of the bumbling cousin Eddie in the National Lampoon's Vacation series, experienced a drastic and bizarre descent into legal turmoil and financial ruin. Beginning in the late 2000s, a series of increasingly strange events began to unravel his life and career. Interestingly enough, before his acting career skyrocketed, Randy actually received an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor in the 1973 film The Last Detail. This early recognition makes his later downfall that much more dramatic. In 2009, Quaid and his wife, Evie, were initially arrested for failing to pay a $10,000 hotel bill, a seemingly minor infraction that served as a prelude to far more severe legal battles. They faced accusations that escalated to include fraud and burglary, ultimately leading them to flee to Canada in 2010. There, they sought political asylum, claiming they were victims of a shadowy cabal known as the Star Whackers, a supposed group targeting Hollywood celebrities. "Hollywood is murdering its movie stars," Evie declared in an interview, encapsulating their paranoia and sense of impending doom. Their asylum claim, however, was denied, and after a string of further arrests, they were deported back to the United States. The couple eventually settled in Vermont, but their legal battles continued unabated. Despite his attempts to deflect accountability, the strain of the constant legal pressure was evident, with Quaid once expressing a simple, heartfelt plea: "I just want to be left alone." Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye, the soulful voice behind timeless classics, experienced a tragic fall from grace despite his monumental early success. Initially a Motown superstar, Gaye's life spiraled into chaos, fueled by personal demons and overwhelming financial woes. By the late 1970s, he was drowning in debt, a staggering $9.2 million, with almost half owed in back taxes to the IRS. This monetary burden was exacerbated by fractured relationships and a crippling cocaine addiction. Interestingly, Gaye actually drew inspiration for his later music from his personal hardships and inner turmoil. Attempting to escape it all, Gaye fled to Europe, seeking refuge in a self-imposed exile, while battling depression and his substance use disorder. Despite the darkness, he triumphantly returned in 1984 with Sexual Healing, a testament to his enduring talent. But tragedy struck swiftly. Just months later, at the age of 44, Marvin Gaye's life was cut short when he was fatally shot by his own father during a heated family argument. Willie Ames. Willie Ames, the heartthrob of the late 1970s thanks to his role on the hit sitcom 8 is Enough, experienced a precipitous fall from grace. After the show ended in 1981, Ames found himself spiraling into the depths of substance abuse and legal nightmares, culminating in utter financial ruin. The shocking contrast of his life was captured in his own words. "I went from eating at the White House to sleeping in the bushes," a stark portrayal of his descent from the pinnacle of fame to the harsh realities of homelessness. Believe it or not, before the glitz and glamour, young Willie was actually a contestant on the game show What's My Line in 1967 at just 6 years old, showcasing an early charm and stage presence that would later propel him to teen stardom. During his darkest hours, Ames sought refuge in parking garages and public parks, grappling with the crushing weight of his past decisions. Public reaction was a mixed bag of sympathy and harsh judgment. However, amid the wreckage of his life, Ames discovered a lifeline in faith, a turning point that would redefine his existence. Anchored by his newfound spiritual conviction, he found support, secured employment on a cruise ship, and painstakingly rebuilt his shattered life. This journey of redemption eventually led him back to acting, including roles in Hallmark Channel movies. Ames now stands as a beacon of hope, a living example of personal transformation and the possibility of a second act. He often emphasizes the importance of growth and the capacity for change, offering inspiration and encouragement to those facing similar life storms. Like this video? Great! Subscribe for more. Hate it? Well, a like would be nice anyway, and let me know what went wrong in the comments. Jan Michael. Jan Michael Vincent, who soared to fame in the 1980s as the charismatic helicopter pilot Stringfellow Hawk in Airwolf, earning an impressive $200,000 per episode, concealed a life of profound personal turmoil beneath his Hollywood persona. Interestingly, before his acting career fully took off, Vincent was a talented surfer, and even appeared in several surf films in the 1960s, showcasing a different side of his adventurous spirit. "I had a problem with drugs and alcohol," Vincent candidly confessed, acknowledging the demons that haunted him. As his career peaked, his substance abuse intensified, leading to a series of arrests and legal battles. Vincent's health suffered a devastating blow following multiple severe car accidents, one of which tragically resulted in the amputation of his leg due to complications from an infection. These incidents not only ravaged his physical health, but also decimated his professional standing. Once a prominent leading man, he was relegated to low-budget films and faded into obscurity. In his later years, Vincent faced mounting financial woes, including unpaid taxes that loomed over him. His tragic downfall culminated in his death from cardiac arrest in 2019 at the age of 73, leaving behind a legacy tarnished by addiction and poor choices. John Drew Barrymore. Born into Hollywood royalty, John Drew Barrymore found the weight of his family's legacy a heavy burden. Despite early success in films like The Sundowners and showcasing his talent alongside legends in films like High Lonesome, his career trajectory was tragically altered by inner demons. John wrestled relentlessly with alcohol addiction, leading to countless brushes with the law and a string of erratic life choices, derailing his promising acting career. Interestingly, though less known, John also had a brief but memorable stint directing low-budget horror films in the 1970s, showing a creative spark beyond acting that was also overshadowed by personal troubles. As his public image crumbled, he retreated from the spotlight, living a life of seclusion and quiet desperation. "I know certain actors are totally screwed up on drugs. Why wasn't I excused for exhaustion or the flu?" he once lamented, revealing the immense pressure cooker of celebrity lineage where individuality often suffocates under the weight of expectation. In his final years, battling cancer and failing health, he found solace and reconciliation with his daughter, Drew Barrymore, who supported him through his health struggles. His death in 2004 stands as a somber testament to the critical need for familial bonds and the devastating consequences that unchecked personal battles can inflict. Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes, a celebrated Hollywood actor renowned for his compelling roles in films like Mo Better Blues, Jungle Fever, White Men Can't Jump, and the iconic Blade trilogy, faced a stunning fall from prominence. Despite achieving significant success and wealth, Snipes stumbled into severe financial difficulties, remarkably at a time when he was earning millions per film. He even earned $13 million for Blade Trinity. His trouble stemmed from failing to file tax returns from 1999 to 2001, culminating in a staggering debt of millions of dollars to the IRS. His legal battles reached a climax in 2008 when he was convicted on 3 misdemeanor counts of tax evasion, resulting in a 3-year prison sentence. Reflecting on his dramatic shift in fortune, Snipes admitted, "I did not think it was possible," acknowledging the emotional toll of his predicament. The public watched as a beloved action icon became a cautionary tale of financial mismanagement and the grave consequences of neglecting tax obligations. Even after his release, when he attempted to rectify his financial situation and rebuild his career, Snipes encountered significant hurdles. While friends like Sylvester Stallone and Denzel Washington extended support and offered him roles, underscoring the lasting impact of friendships built before the scandal, the taint of his past legal issues lingered, making a full return to his former glory challenging. Wesley Snipes was sentenced to 3 years in prison for tax evasion. Do you think the sentence was fair? Comment with yes or no. Lisa Robin Kelly. Lisa Robin Kelly, best known as the witty Lori Foreman on the popular sitcom That 70s Show, endured a heartbreaking descent into substance abuse and legal troubles. Despite her early promise as an actress and her early career as a model, things changed. After the initial seasons of the show, her life took a devastating turn. As her struggles with drugs intensified, she was eventually written out of the series. Did you know that before landing her iconic role, Lisa Robin Kelly had actually guest starred on a variety of popular TV shows in the 90s, including Married with Children, Murphy Brown, and The X-Files? Sadly, in 2012, Kelly's downward spiral continued, marked by several arrests for DUI, assault, and domestic violence. These incidents were a public manifestation of her worsening state. Further compounding her distress was the loss of a child, which deepened her reliance on alcohol. She candidly spoke of her turmoil, saying, "I was in a dark place." In 2013, there was a glimmer of hope when Kelly voluntarily entered a rehab facility, with her agent stating, Lisa had voluntarily checked herself into a treatment facility. She was hopeful and confident. However, this glimmer was short-lived as she tragically died a few days later at 43 years old from multiple drug intoxication. Gary Coleman. Gary Coleman, forever etched in television history as the quick-witted Arnold Jackson of Different Strokes, experienced a heart-wrenching fall from fame to hardship and did once have a very brief and non-successful stint as a trained security guard during his hardships. Born on February 8, 1968, he charmed the world with his undeniable charisma and signature catchphrase, "What you talking about, Willis?" But behind the scenes, Coleman battled serious health issues and financial exploitation. From the tender age of 2, he grappled with a congenital kidney disease, necessitating multiple kidney transplants and lifelong dialysis. At the peak of his Different Strokes career, he earned a remarkable $100,000 per episode. However, much of his substantial earnings were allegedly siphoned off by his parents and financial advisors. In a bid to regain control, Coleman took legal action against them in 1989, accusing them of embezzling his $3.8 million trust fund. He eventually won a settlement of $1.28 million in 1993. Sadly, mounting medical costs and legal bills ate away at his finances. By 1999, Coleman was forced into bankruptcy as acting opportunities dwindled and financial stability became increasingly elusive. His later years were marked by substance abuse, bouts of depression, and recurring legal troubles. In a poignant reflection of his experiences, he once lamented, "I would not give my first 15 years to my worst enemy." Gary Coleman's life tragically ended in 2010 at the young age of 42, leaving behind a minimal estate but leaving a mark on the industry forever. Todd Bridges. Todd Bridges, forever etched in our memories as Willis Jackson from the beloved sitcom Different Strokes, spiraled into a dark abyss after the series ended in 1986. The once cherished child star found it nearly impossible to secure mature roles and instead battled demons stemming from a turbulent childhood, marred by abuse and the disorienting pressures of early fame. He candidly shared the impact, stating, "When the show got canceled is when my whole life fell apart because everything caught up with me." Ironically, Gary Coleman, his co-star who Bridges looked up as a brother, later sued Bridges and his parents in 1993. Coleman alleged that Bridges' father had mismanaged Coleman's trust fund and took more than $1 million. That hurted Bridges most. He ended with drug use and got into cocaine and methamphetamine for solace. His addiction rapidly deteriorated, leading him to desperate measures to feed his habit. Recalling his lowest point, he said, "I had no shoes on, no shirt on, no money in my pocket." Legal troubles followed, culminating in a shocking attempted murder charge after a drug-fueled altercation with a dealer where he discharged a firearm. Although acquitted after serving 9 months in jail, the experience left lasting scars. Bridges didn't work in the Hollywood for a long time. He worked as security guard for 5 years. Embarking on a path to recovery, Todd entered rehab in 1992. Sober for over 3 decades, he rebuilt his life from the ashes. "I threw Hollywood away," he admits, but now he shares his powerful story of redemption and resilience as a beacon of hope for others struggling with addiction. Natasha Lyonne. Natasha Lyonne, initially celebrated for her captivating performances in films such as American Pie and Slums of Beverly Hills, found herself spiraling into the depths of homelessness. The early 2000s marked a dark period as substance abuse and legal troubles took hold. It wasn't just a DUI in 2001, but also an incident where she threatened to sexually molest a neighbor's dog, leading to her eviction from her upscale Gramercy Park apartment. This was the start of her dramatic downturn. Entrenched in a fierce battle with heroin addiction, Lyonne's life was reduced to the streets. The emotional toll was immense. She confessed, "I was definitely as good as dead." Her health crumbled, landing her in the hospital with hepatitis C and a collapsed lung, a grim testament to the life she was leading. Yet, from this abyss, Lyonne clawed her way back. Entering rehab in 2006 became her turning point. It was the start of her determined journey to reclaim her life and career. "People really rallied around me and pulled me up by my fucking bootstraps," she recalled, acknowledging the crucial support system that fueled her recovery. Lyonne didn't just revive her acting career with acclaimed roles in Orange is the New Black and Poker Face, but also stepped behind the camera, directing episodes and showcasing her multifaceted talent. Today, she is a beacon of hope, a living proof that even from the deepest despair, a life and a career can be rebuilt and even surpass their former glory. On a scale of 0 to 5, how impressive is Natasha Lyonne's comeback from addiction and personal struggles? Comment with a number. Jennifer Lien. Jennifer Lien, best known for playing the Ocampa K's on Star Trek, Voyager, experienced a sharp divide between her early success and a later period, marked by emotional distress and financial instability. After her departure from the show in its 4th season, a surprising decision as she was initially set to become Voyager's version of a long-lived Vulcan, Lien struggled with limited acting work, culminating in a series of personal and legal problems. Executive producer Jerry Taylor once remarked, "I think the reason people don't talk to you about it is they don't know what to say," highlighting the difficulty many had in understanding or addressing Lien's situation. It was rumored that Garrett Wang, who played Harry Kim on Voyager, had a huge crush on Lien, and even had a picture of her as his computer's screensaver, adding a layer of personal complexity to the set dynamics. As her career faded, Lien faced multiple arrests, including those related to domestic violence and driving infractions. Her legal troubles were interwoven with court-mandated mental health care, revealing deeper issues that apparently took root during her time on Voyager. It seems the demands of celebrity and the unexpected end to her character's narrative arc had a serious impact on her mental state. The public reacted in various ways, with some offering support while others responded critically. Lien's journey became a stark reminder of the fragility of mental well-being and the vital importance of strong support networks in the entertainment world. Seeking a quieter existence, she eventually settled in rural Tennessee, working to create a new life away from the spotlight. Margot Kidder. Margot Kidder, an actress whose star shone brightly in Hollywood, is still remembered today for her defining role as Lois Lane in the Superman films, and as the terrorized mom in the Amityville Horror. However, beyond the spotlight, Kidder's life was marked by hardship. Following a terrible car accident in 1990, she suffered partial paralysis and was unable to work. She faced devastating financial ruin, which further fueled her anguish. Even her romantic life at the time became turbulent. Just shortly after her accident, her third husband filed for divorce, after only being married to Kidder for only 6 days. Reflecting on her life, Kidder once admitted, "I was okay for long stretches of time, and then there were pieces of time where I definitely wasn't," revealing her struggles with both mental health issues and substance abuse. Medical bills surpassing $600,000 forced her into bankruptcy. In 1996, she experienced a highly publicized mental breakdown, which was followed by homelessness. She ended up living on the streets, virtually unrecognizable, battling inner demons that had haunted her since childhood. Kidder's mental health condition was eventually diagnosed as bipolar disorder, which at first she refused to accept. While she would look back at her life as grand and wonderful, she would always acknowledge the odd blips and burps of madness that would punctuate it. Despite working towards finding stability in Montana after years of turmoil, tragedy struck when she died from an overdose in 2018, a death ruled as suicide. Mindy McCready. Mindy McCready blazed onto the country music scene in the 1990s, her career ignited by hits such as "Guys Do It All the Time." Yet, beneath the shimmering surface of success lay a tumultuous personal life, ravaged by addiction and emotional instability. In 1994, when she was only 18 years old, McCready signed with B&A Records. Her debut album, 10,000 Angels, was released in 1996, and it was certified 2X Platinum by the RIAA. However, her professional achievements were soon overshadowed by an escalating series of personal crises. McCready battled substance abuse, resulting in multiple arrests and a heart-wrenching custody dispute that culminated in the loss of her children. Her fight for sobriety was publicly documented during her appearance on Celebrity Rehab, but she remained trapped in the vicious cycle of addiction. The suicide of her partner, David Wilson, in January 2013 plunged her into profound grief. "He was my soulmate," she once said, revealing the depth of her devastation. Just over a month later, on February 17, 2013, McCready took her own life on the very porch where Wilson had died, a tragic testament to her despair. She was only 37, and her untimely death underscored the urgent need for compassion and awareness surrounding mental health and addiction. As Dr. Drew Pinsky pointed out, mental health issues can be life-threatening and need to be treated with the same intensity as Lonnie Willison. Lonnie Willison, a dazzling fitness model gracing magazine covers and shining in the TV series Exposed, experienced a shocking life reversal after her turbulent 2014 divorce from actor Jeremy Jackson. Their marriage was marred by domestic abuse, with Lonnie describing being strangled and beaten, and the deep emotional wounds she suffered. "It took me over 2 months to recover properly." Interestingly, before her marriage to Jackson, Willison had a successful career, even doing commercial work alongside stars like Tom Cruise, showing the height from which she fell. By 2016, the weight of mental health struggles and addiction led to Lonnie losing her home and vehicle, rendering her unable to maintain stability. "I lost 2 jobs. It's been 2 years. I've been on the streets since," she revealed, painting a grim picture of her circumstances. The once radiant personality, familiar to audiences, dwindled, with Lonnie often cited searching for sustenance in Los Angeles, her meager belongings piled in a shopping cart. Her transformation serves as a somber reminder of how quickly fame can fade and the devastating consequences of addiction. Despite attempts by friends to intervene, Lonnie consistently rejected their help, enveloped in hopelessness. "Nobody really cares about me," she stated, expressing. Aaron Carter. Aaron Carter catapulted to teen idol status at just 9 years old with his debut album achieving platinum sales, faced a tumultuous life far removed from his initial fame. While he was riding high on popularity, even opening for Britney Spears tours, he was privately battling internal issues as a child star, in an era of immense scrutiny and relentless paparazzi pressure. By his mid-20s, Carter's life was in a sharp descent, marked by severe substance abuse, contentious family relationships, and crushing financial problems. His battle with addiction was publicly documented, and he confessed to huffing and misusing various prescription drugs. "I was huffing because I'm a drug addict," he admitted in a raw and emotional appearance on The Doctors. The weight of early stardom also led to severe financial mismanagement. He filed for bankruptcy in 2013, swamped by over $3.5 million in debt, largely due to unpaid taxes from his most lucrative years. As his career waned, Carter controversially resorted to selling explicit content online to stay afloat financially. Despite undergoing rehabilitation and speaking openly about his struggles with anxiety and depression, his efforts to recover were often overshadowed by erratic behavior and intense public judgment. Tragically, at the age of 34, Aaron Carter's life ended in November 2022 when he accidentally drowned in his bathtub. Dana Plato. Dana Plato, forever etched in our memories as Kimberly Drummond from the beloved sitcom Different Strokes, experienced a meteoric rise to fame, only to descend into a heartbreaking spiral of substance abuse and despair. The crushing weight of childhood stardom took a severe toll on her mental well-being, driving her towards drug addiction as early as her teenage years. In fact, in a desperate attempt to shed her wholesome image and prove she was all grown up, Dana posed for Playboy in 1989, a move that further alienated her from potential mainstream roles and deepened her financial woes. "I was just a kid who wanted to be loved," she later revealed, highlighting the emotional void that even fame couldn't fill. After becoming pregnant at 19, she was written out of the show, marking the beginning of her financial and personal decline. Struggling to find substantial acting work, she resorted to B-movies and adult films in a bid to resurrect her career. But these efforts proved futile. Her financial situation was further exacerbated when her accountant embezzled her savings, leaving her destitute. In a desperate act in 1991, Dana robbed a Las Vegas video store, wielding a pellet gun and making off with a mere $164. This act led to probation and further legal troubles, including an arrest for forging a prescription. Despite attempts at rehabilitation, her battle with addiction persisted. Tragically, Dana was found dead from a drug overdose at the age of 34. Her life serves as a cautionary tale about the perils of childhood stardom and the urgent need for mental health support within the entertainment industry. Erin Moran. Erin Moran captured hearts as the effervescent Joni Cunningham on Happy Days, becoming a household name with her infectious energy and acting prowess. Yet, the transition from beloved child star to adult actress proved brutally difficult. After Happy Days ended its successful run in 1984, steady work became elusive. A brief glimmer of hope appeared with the spin-off Joni Loves Chachi, pairing her with Scott Baio. However, the show was canceled, ending prematurely after just one season. This failure left Erin feeling marginalized and forgotten in the very industry that once embraced her. Interestingly, many people don't know that she once guest starred on The Love Boat in 1982 in the episode The Expedition Cost Julie's Wedding the Divers. Her former Happy Days co-star Marion Ross later revealed Erin's struggles with alcohol and substance abuse. Erin's personal life mirrored the turmoil in her career. She tragically lost her California home to foreclosure in 2010 and was forced to move in with her mother-in-law, residing in an Indiana trailer park, a world away from the glitz and glamour of her Hollywood past. Sadly, news outlets reported photos of the once vibrant actress looking disheveled and struggling. The public was shocked by her apparent decline and battle with depression. Her former co-star Scott Baio, with whom she shared the screen in Joni Loves Chachi, expressed a controversial stance when asked about her plight, stating, "You make your bed, you gotta sleep in it. I don't know how to help people." This statement sparked controversy at the time and highlighted the divide that fame often creates. Erin's heartbreaking journey underscores the difficulties child stars face and the critical need for support systems to navigate the pitfalls of fame. Though her death at 56 was from stage 4 cancer, her story serves as a stark reminder of the entertainment industry's demanding nature and the importance of compassion for those struggling within it. Bobby Driscoll. Bobby Driscoll, once a shining star of Disney's golden era, enchanting audiences in Song of the South and voicing Peter Pan, experienced a heartbreaking fall from grace after a meteoric rise to fame. His talent shone brightly early on. At the age of 12, he not only received a Juvenile Academy Award, but was also immortalized with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. However, the transition to adolescence proved brutal. A sudden bout of severe acne changed his appearance, causing casting directors to turn away the once adorable child star. It got so bad that some on set cruel nickname of him was Acne Driscoll. He lamented, "I was dropped like garbage when I was no longer a cute little kid." A poignant reflection on the disposable nature of childhood stardom. As acting opportunities vanished, Driscoll sought solace in drugs, becoming ensnared by heroin addiction and engaging in petty crimes. His life spiraled downwards with repeated arrests, one for assaulting an unhinged man harassing his father with a shotgun, and a later incident involving a car theft where he burned it. Despite a stint in rehab, his attempts to resurrect his acting career were met with resounding silence. Desperate for a fresh start, he relocated to New York, immersing himself in the city's underground art scene, yet remained largely anonymous. Tragically, at the young age of 31, Driscoll's life came to a desolate end. His lifeless body was discovered in an abandoned Greenwich Village tenement building by children playing nearby. The cause of death was determined to be heart failure, a consequence of the hardened arteries brought on by years of drug use. A stark epitaph for a life ravaged by lost fame and personal demons. The journeys of these stars, marked by both dazzling heights and devastating lows, serve as a powerful reminder that fame is fleeting, but the human spirit endures. Their experiences underscore the critical need for robust support systems and a greater awareness of mental health, particularly within the demanding world of entertainment. Have you ever felt the sting of public criticism or the weight of expectations? Imagine building an empire only to see it crumble around you. These stories are a call for empathy, urging us to approach those facing adversity with kindness and understanding. Did a particular star's struggle resonate with you on a personal level? Share your thoughts and feelings in the comments. Your voice matters. If these narratives have touched you, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to Timeless Rewind, and enable notifications to stay connected with more thought-provoking stories that challenge perspectives and ignite meaningful conversations. Let's continue to explore the complexities of the human experience together.